I never got to. If I don't say it before, I'll say it now. Like my condolences on that period, bro. Like for as long as y'all been rocking, I got people I've been cool with since like high school, elementary.
Yeah.
But we weren't as tight. We're not as tight as you two. You know what I mean? Day in, day out, your partner, your man doing all that stuff. Like I always wonder how you've been. I've seen you do shows by yourself. The reflex even looks like you expect him to come in with something.
You know, when it first happened, you know, that shit fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? That shit really fucked me up because I knew him longer than I didn't know him. You know what I'm saying? Right. He was basically family, like blood, a brother to me, and all of that. And though throughout the years, you know, we might have had differences, we always bounce back. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, brothers fight. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You know, me and my physical brother, you know, rest in peace. There was times when, you know, one of us would walk in the house and we just stole on each other just straight up. Like, you know, but that's how we kept each other sharp. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, niggas be ready to thump. Like, niggas ain't gonna run. Niggas be ready to thump because we warriors in the crib. Like, we don't fight outside, but we, you know, making each other sharp in the crib. We, whatever issue it was. But to get back to Prodigy, like, you know, though we may have had our differences, we was friends before that. You know what I'm saying? That could always, you know, wipe that shit off the table. So
the good outweighed the bad.
Pretty much, you know what I mean? Even when we broke up, you know, some years back, I think it was like for a year or two.
I don't know if anybody knew that happened.
Right.
I knew it.
Right.
Yeah, I knew it.
The people didn't know.
But you know, me and him knew it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that shit was bothering me every day.
What caused it?
It was just some internal shit that I don't even like to think about no more or kind of bring it up. But it was just some internal shit that was just brewing. You know what I mean? And you know, and I kind of handled it in a wrong way. You know what I mean? I could admit that now. You know what I'm saying? It could have been handled in a totally different manner. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But the good thing about that story is we came back together.
That's a better question.
You know what I'm saying?
That question feels better. How did you squash
it?
It was like, it was funny because it wasn't like we spoke on the phone and was like, yo, we gotta dead this beef. It was just like our mutual friends worked us up into just being in the studio together, and it was just like we never broke up. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, what song we doing today? You know what I'm saying? Yo, what up? All right, cool. Back to work. And it wasn't easy, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm sure the trust had to get back, you know what I'm saying, and stuff, things of that nature, but we was brothers, like, you know what I'm saying? We know intimate things about one another, like, that could never be overlooked, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was that.
I do have something interesting that I have to bring up because we had a conversation with Tragedy the other day, and P came up, and I asked him a major point. So being that y'all was in, you know, pretty close friends, I seen in an interview that he was speaking about being haunted by ghosts. How long was that going on for with him?
You know, I saw that along with everybody else. I remember him telling me a story like that before that even ever aired years ago, that he saw some kind of shadowy figure or whatever. So when I seen that aired on some kind of show, I wasn't surprised, you know what I mean? Because he had told me that, you know what I mean? Like just between me and him, he told me something like that. You know, P was deep, so, you know, when he said that to me, I know he wasn't bugging, you know what I'm saying? I believed him, you know what I mean? I was like, damn, I would have seen some shit like that, but, you know, I didn't. But I believed him, you know what I'm saying? Even when he told me he seen some, like, other shit outside his crib, like some alien lights and shit, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, and his wife saw it too, so I was like, you know, son, you know what I'm saying, was privy to some shit.
He said he saw alien lights outside his crib?
He didn't say he see aliens, but alien lights, like, you know what I'm saying?
Like some lights out of nowhere.
Some, you know.
Which is all connected.
Right. So, you know, he was, you know what I'm saying, he was privy to a lot of shit.
Had to be rough when he went to jail.
Yeah, I felt really bad, you know what I'm saying, when he went to jail because he was trying to fight it, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I knew, he knew that he already got bagged for like 3 other guns. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know how he skated on that. Like, you know what I mean? So the last time I was like, damn, son, like, you know what I mean? And so he was gonna try to fight it, but they told him if he was gonna fight it, they was gonna hit him with way more. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to tell him, you know, to lay down to it, but I was like, yo, son, like 10 years or 3, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He had to go do it. You know what I'm saying? I felt really, I felt bad.
He talked about you during that. I interviewed him before he went in.
Yeah.
For the source.
Yeah.
He talked about you a lot, like during that whole situation, just as far as how it was going to be and how he was setting things up so that when he came back, it would almost be seamless, like he wasn't gone. But his main thing was like, you know, as far as Hav is concerned, I just need to make sure like Hav is good and Hav's family and Hav and he just like you would think you were the one going in the way he was. I asked him about that. He was like, nah, you don't understand. That's I gotta make sure. If he's good, then I could sit down. I'll be right back. It's nothing. But this thing need to still be happening while I'm gone, and it needs to be here when I get back.
Yeah, it was tough when he had to, you know, go in. It definitely was. It was a rough time. You know what I'm saying? It definitely was rough. Not only because he was in, but you know what I'm saying, niggas is used to performing and shit and going out together. So it wasn't the same like going out without him. You know what I'm saying? The money was cut drastically. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even half. Like they wasn't trying to see me dolo. You know what I'm saying? So this shit was it was a tough, rough time.
What was it like the morning that you found out?
That P passed? That shit was crazy because my little son, my youngest son, he just graduated from kindergarten. And 2 or 3 days before that, I was in Vegas with P and we did a show. You know what I'm saying? Raekwon Ghost. It's like one of those old school shows and shit in Vegas and all of that. And me and P, we was like on some like health kick shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? We started eating salads and we actually just came from Whole Foods that day. We was in Whole Foods shopping for, you know, organic foods and shit.
All that,
And we getting all of that, he getting healthy, but he started feeling sick out there after we got off the stage. So whatever, I seen him get sick a million times. So that morning that I found out, when they said that he passed away, I just thought it was a lie. I just thought it was a rumor, like, because my peoples just spoke to him already. You know what I'm saying? Like how P doing? Oh, P good. He just was eating. He was laughing last night. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, can you go check on him? Because I just heard a rumor. And, you know, the road manager just said that, oh, yeah, he was laughing last night. I brought him some chicken parmesan or some shit.
Right.
And he went to the bathroom on his own. He was good. So to hear that he passed away that day, that shit, I just thought it was a lie.
Because he was in good shape.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He was bouncing back. So when it got confirmed to me, it's like I wanted to pull over on the highway, but I got my whole family in the car. And they looking at me like, what's wrong? And you know, we went to the restaurant and I was just crying at the table. And, you know, then people, I just had to go outside. And people just started walking up to me and saying, you know, giving me their condolences, because I guess everybody just started
hearing about it.
Finding out.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel real.
At all?
Nah.
Does it feel real now?
I mean, you know, I've came to the realization that, you know what I'm saying, son not here, but, you know, when I see him, when I look at pictures of him or when I look at videos of him, it don't seem real. You know what I mean? Like, that shit feels crazy to me. Like, you know, I just can't believe it. You know, I lost people before, you know, but I think I was really, P was one of the closest ones in my life that, you know, left. But it in a way, it don't feel real, but then I have to come to the realization.
I think losing someone, me personally, My philosophy, you don't gotta follow my shit. I don't think people really leave here. I think that the physical, that might break down, but their intentions, their wills, their wishes, especially if they're connected to someone here, it stays. It stays until it feels like it's time to pass on. Is there any times that you might be recording and you feel like he's there or he's telling you something?
There was a couple of signs that I used to get, like, after he passed. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like P must be in the room or something like that. Like, for real, for real. I'm like, yo, that gotta be P.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, you know, something good happened to me and I'm like, that gotta be P. Like, you know what I'm saying? Looking out for me, you know what I mean?
Right.
I believe he looking out for me. You know what I mean? Because a lot of things have been transpiring in my life, you know what I mean, lately that I'm like, that gotta be P looking out for me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know, because things been looking up, you know what I mean? And that could only be P's blessings, you know what I mean? So I believe in that they still around, they still sticking around and they looking over us.
When I was reading a lot of his writings, it appeared to me that when he was incarcerated, that he was leaning towards spirituality, I would say. It seemed like he was leaning towards maybe finding God, moving away from the negativity that he felt, even himself, that he contributed in hip hop. He saw things a complete different way, kind of, you know, like Tupac did almost. When he came home, what transitioned to where he came back to? Because it was like he was on that course, and then when he came home, a little bit he went back to, you know, the regular P we know. What happened there, which you would know more intricately details?
You know, I really can't say, to be honest with you, you know what I mean? Because, you know, privately, Prodigy was always on a positive path, you know what I mean? He might have rapped, you know, one way at certain times, and then, you know, and positive during others.
Right.
But he always was on a positive path, man. He was always deep, and we always would build. You know what I mean? So sometimes I believe if you saw him on a positive path and it seemed like he deterred from it, it wasn't really him deterring from it. It was just him doing what he was familiar with as far as musically, but privately he was.
He was always a poetical prophet.
Yeah, here you go.
No, but this is this is real right here.
Yeah.
He was always a poetical prophet.
Word.
So what I'm want to know is, and I guess it would just be opinion. Do you think that when he was incarcerated, that might have been the Lord speaking to him? And maybe when all the times he was seeing spirits, the Lord speaking to him, and he was supposed to stay the poetical prophet instead of maybe leaning towards Mobbdeep?
You know, I can't really say, but I can say this. I know he regretted putting himself in a position to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? I know he regretted that because, you know, it was a lot of times when, you know, I would see P somewhere, you know, and he'd be in his car, and I wouldn't stay in his car for longer than 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew that, you know what I'm saying, how he was operating inside the car. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to really, you know what I'm saying, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even though you had to, you know, you had to be like that, you know, out here, unfortunately.
Right.
But, you know, I was kind of like moving a little bit different. So I would be like, yo, I'm out of here. Or I tell P like, you need to get somebody else to hold that thing for you, like, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So when he was in jail, that he kept hearing me saying that to him over and over again. You know what I mean? You know, I always wanted to see nothing but good for him, but you know, that's how he liked to move, and he got caught up. But everything happened for a reason. That it brought him back here. He was different when he came back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, word.
It's hot for trapper turned smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work, you heard. Making fiends leave earth, you heard. Got your baby mama thirst, you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf, you heard.